Hello everyone. Today we will see what is SAC planning. Okay. Planning, we are aware that planning is something uh, like if else condition. Okay. So for everything, every objective, we need a plan. Okay. We need a plan. So if a particular predefined target, if you want to achieve, we will usually do some kind of a planning. Okay. So for example, let's do a simple planning, create a planning model. Okay. New model. So in classic model is only account based modeling, which is a planning, and the new modeling is where you can do measure based modeling as well as account based modeling. So better go for new model. Right. And when you're in modeling section, these are all the basic one. So date dimension, if you want to, you can keep it. In our case, for simple one, it is not required. Version is also not required. Version. Version is the default one for planning one. See, plus this model preference. Whenever you create any model, by default, it gets created as a planning model. This you can change it. This you can, if you remove this one, it will be like a regular model. If you enable this one, then it is a planning model. Okay, right. So, okay, fine. And this date is not required for now. Okay. Now you can add measures. Okay. Normally in any planning, only pure planning model where you will account based model, you will find only one measure. Okay. Accounting is a very technical term, but normally, if you take any example of your monthly budget, okay, if it is your monthly budget, how you will write your monthly budget, okay, monthly expenses in your home, for example, groceries, okay, what is the amount, okay, for example, current bill, how much is the amount, okay, and if it is a something right, water bill, okay. So these are all what are your expenses, for example, school fee, okay. So like this, all these are all called, these are all called your accounts, okay. So what you can expect, all these are all different accounts, and this is the single value, okay. So that is what normal accounting, okay, right. Now you can add one measure. I added and go come to this details. Let's keep it as some value, okay, right. This you can keep it as a decimal or integer based on your wish. Decimal with 2 digits, okay, right. Now you can add here dimensions. See, here it is adding an option, add new dimension. In a accounting model, let's see. The generic dimensions are normal characteristic, but this time I would like to add account to this model. So this account model is something like give the name. It is not mandatory that you should give the name as account. You can give any name. Okay. Right. That's it. You cannot create one more dimension with type as a accounting. Okay. See, it is not displaying now. Okay. Right. Now, that's it. And You can add one more dimension if you want. For now, it is not required. Right. And in account, the example what I am trying to consider here is net value. Okay. Net sales value. Okay. And each per piece. Okay. Unit means per unit value, per item value. Okay. For example, if you sold an item for 50 rupees, okay, quantity. Okay. For example, you sold 4 items. Okay. Then your net value will be 100. Okay. So I assume that this is called your top node, and these two are the sub nodes. Okay. So in SAC planning, you have two approaches, top to bottom, and another one is bottom to top. Okay. Top to bottom means if you give a value here in the top node, it will distribute the values to the bottom based on the proportions. Okay. Here is the terminology proportions. Otherwise, if you don't mention any proportions is nothing but percentage. Okay. Sharing. If you don't give any proportion, it will equally share the value. Okay. That we will see. And similarly, bottom up means if you give the values to these childs, okay, it will aggregate to the top. Okay, that is called top to bottom and bottom to top. Okay, right. Now you can create member IDs here. Okay, so for example, net sale value. And these are all members of your account ID. For example, I am creating per unit we can call it as a sale value, and each what is the quantity sold. Okay, right. Here hierarchies will be very important. Okay, here see, for these two I am making the net sale value as the parent. Okay, right. Now save this one, then go and version. This is a default one, actual version. Okay, right. Go back and let's save this one. What is the validation? Date dimension is not our data. You can add, you must have date dimension. Date. Right. So inside the date, for now, you can maintain this granularity. Okay. So I want to maintain these dates just for 1 year. Okay, it is the value of only 1 year at the granularity of only year. Okay, right. That's it. Keep 23 also. Okay, this is 1 year just for our simplicity. Save this model. I'm saving this as a sales. And you have to create some folder. Better save in there so that navigation is easy. Our planning model is created. The data we are going to plan is in the story. Okay, let's see how it is there. Okay, let's open the story page. Okay, and let's create a story. Planning is only possible through story only. Okay, right. So here, story, when you're trying to create story, as of now, SAC, they are trying to provide these two type of experiences. Go for a classic design experience. Okay? Means just interface buttons, it will be different. Responsive page. Here, only table type of widget or else table type of graph only will be work. Means table type one only will get work. Okay, planning is only possible in the table, not in the charts or graphs. Okay, only in table it is possible. So here you need to add dimensions. So what are the dimensions here? Account dimension I added. Okay, in the rows section. And here, as of now, we did not loaded any data into my model. Okay, we want to see the planning, especially unbooked data. Okay? Without any data also it will show. See, these are all the accounts it is showing. Okay? And versions, as of now, it is not required because we have only one version. And in column section, what are all the columns you can add? Add that to value also. Okay. I think we added a value column as well. Measures. Why it is not showing my measures? Yeah, measures is my value. Okay. Yes. Here also you can see for all members. See now unbooked data. This is what you need to select. Then it will show. Now, for example, if my net value is 500, if I am giving like this, okay, and it is equally distributed to the child nodes. I told you, right? If you give the top node value, means this is the main node. For this, these two are children. Okay, it will distribute equally. Okay, and for example, what if you can give the value? This is a 350, and this is a 150. Okay, then it will be sum up and shown to the top. Okay, you can add it to 250. See, the total one is showing to the top. Okay, so if you give the top now, for example, if you give 1000 here in the top, the previous values of 350, 250, it considered as a proportion. Okay, it will consider it as a proportion so that accordingly those percentages it will share. For example, I'm keeping 60 here and 40 here. Okay, now If I am giving you 1000 here, 600 will come to this one and this one. Okay, based on default properties summation, when you give the child nodes and it will aggregates to the top node. And if you give the value to the top node, if existing values will be considered as a proportions, or else if no values are there, it will equally distribute that value. At the very beginning, if you don't see any value, 0, 0, like this. Okay, then if you give the value 100 or 1000, whatever, it will equally distribute. No value, it will equally distribute to the child nodes. Okay, that's it. And you can do, this is the default behavior. Okay, right. But in our case, it is not summation. Quantity per unit cost summation is not the net value. Quantity per unit value multiplication will be my net value. So if you want other than the summation, then go for, you need to apply some formula in the model. Okay. So for example, our model. Here, in value in a account model, like in account dimension, go to this account dimension, and then you will find this kind of grid display. Here you need to apply some formula. Okay, here you can write the formula. It will open the formula editor. Okay, the formula I want to write is quantity sold multiplied by your per unit cost. Okay, valid formula. That's it. Save this one. Now I sold 30 unit, 30 each value, and sold of 25. Okay. Now the value is not summation. 30 plus 25 is what? 55. But it is not showing 55. What it is showing instead? 750. Means 30 into 25. Now see this one. Once a formula is written, automatically that cell is got locked. So you can give only values to the child. Okay. You give only values to the child. Okay. Right. You can write, for example, you can add additional numbers also that we will see in next class. Okay. This is the basic formulas, and also you can do in-cell calculations. Okay. For example, this 30 is there. You can increase by 10, then 40. Okay. Okay. This is how it will work. So in-cell calculations, previous value, if you want to decrease by, the previous value is 40. If you want to decrease by 20, okay, plus minus is what you need to give. Okay, so we are modifying the previous value by minus 20. Okay, means 40 minus 20 is 20, right? And if you want to increase the previous value, in our case, as of now, previous value is 20. If you want to add it by 5%, see 21. For 21, if you want to add 20%, like this. Okay, this is how it will work. Okay, so these are all called in-cell calculations. Okay, in-cell story level calculations. And this is the at model level you set some formula. Okay, right. And that's it. Mm. You can write inverse formula also. Okay, so by giving a vertical line, you can use some inverse function. Okay, inverse. Okay, and here quantity sold, for example, inverse is I would like to prepare a formula in such a way, if somebody provides the value in this net value, okay, what could be the price of this one, okay, per unit sales value. If I, how I can reduce this price if I sell more quantity. Per unit sales unit value is equal to the quantity sold. Okay. Formula is basically per net value equal to unit cost multiplied by quantity. Okay. What if I want to know the quantity? Okay. Quantity is equal to the net value, the given net value divided by unit cost. Okay. Similarly, what is the unit cost? Unit cost is equal to, again, net value divided by quantity. Okay, this is the formula I want to set it. So, for example, I would like to, so quantity sold is equal to, this sold is equal to net value, and write the net value. Formula would be inverse, okay, inverse quantity sold, and this is semicolon equal to, okay, this is what the assignment operator, and the first formula I'm preparing, net sales value divided by unit cost. You can prepare other formula as well. Okay, or another inverse function. Okay, and this time unit per unit sales value semicolon equal to net sales value divided by quantity. Okay, that's it. So let's try this one. Valid formula activate. So we have prepared some of these things. Now you can revert this data. Okay, revert this data and freshly give the values. Okay, for example, if I sold 32 units at the price of 32 rupees, at the rate of 32 rupees, and I sold 10 quantity. Okay, then the net sales value is 320, 30 into 10. Now what if I want to derive 1,000 net sales value, okay, then look at this one. Okay, the quantity I should sell is 31. Okay, so based on the given value, it is calculating the child nodes, but did not calculate. See, for example, 32 is the price and quantity got changed. For example, if you give 500 here, okay, See, every time this quantity only getting changed according to the net sales value, because in the formula, the quantity calculation is what we have written earlier, means first. Okay, that's why it always calculates the quantity as the first. Okay, for example, if sometimes if this quantity cell got locked, okay, I want to sell only 15.62 but quantity, but I want to generate 600 net value. Then in that case, see, it is changing the unit cost also. Okay, you understood? This is called inverse formulas. Okay, inverse formula. That's it. So that's it for today. We'll continue in next session. Some more formula features and some more planning examples. Thank you.